Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are lucky enough to be here for the December 2018 Worldox Virtual User Group Meeting from Attorney Computer Systems, where today we are talking about archiving documents. Mary Jo is going to take that topic, and inactivating clients and matters and doc types and things like that. I am going to take that topic. So it's the cleaning up the clutter episode of the virtual user group meeting for Worldox. And so without any further ado, I'm going to click the right buttons to get out of this PowerPoint. And Mary Jo is going to start talking to us about archiving documents.
I am. I'm going to hide your view over here, Paul. There we go. All right. So I'm on a matter that I think, you know what, this matter's closed. I want to get it out of Worldox. I don't want to see it on my list anymore up here. I want to get these documents out of here. So step one, Paul's going to talk about inactivating the actual matter itself, but what I'm going to talk about is what do I do with all these documents that are here right now? Well, what we can do is we can archive these documents, and we can do that all at once. So let's say this matter is a closed matter. I can do a Control-A and check off all of these documents in here. And then if I right-click on that, on any of these documents, they're all highlighted, I have an archive option. So I'm going to go to More, because I haven't done it in a little bit, and I am going to get to my Archive section, and I'm going to move them to Archive. So what that does is it opens up another matter underneath the Archive section with the same naming convention of all of these documents, and everything lives over there under the Archive. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to freak Paul out here because I'm going to do all 30 of these, and I'm going to move them over to archive. And so now it's asking me, are you sure? Do you want to archive all 30? Say yes. Get them out of here. This matter is closed. So I'm moving them all to archive, and there they go. And now if I refresh that, you can see it can't find them anymore. They're not here anymore. And that's because they are now over in archive. So I'm going to go to cabinets. I'm going to go back to my client files. And you'll see here is where our active clients live. Here's where our archive clients live. So I'm going to hit the plus sign, and look, there's Scooby-Doo. Same naming convention as he had before. He's the 1000 matter. If I open the plus sign again, there's my 00. And if I click on that, here's all those documents now living over in the archive section. Now, what's really cool about this is even though they're archived over here and they're no longer on my active file list, I still can search archive when I come in here. So when we go into a search, and we do a quick search, I think I can get in here to see that, you can actually change, maybe not, let me go to advanced. Here we go. So if I were in my client search, when it asks to search what, the default is active, but you actually can check the box to search your archives too. So even though they're in the archive section, you still could search for those documents and bring them up in a search and open them and look at them to see if there's something in there that you've archived that you need to use. So that is really a cool feature here. Now let's say that you archived all these 30 documents here. I just did that for Scooby-Doo. And I realized for whatever reason, this was the wrong matter. I didn't mean to archive this one, or Paul's going to freak out because all his test documents are gone out of Scooby-Doo. I can just open up that archive. You saw where I went into the cabinets, into the client cabinet to archive, found Scooby-Doo, found my documents. I'm going to do a Control-A, and now I'm going to right-click on those documents, go to my More, and I can go to Archive again. And now it's saying my menu option has changed to restore the archive. Now what I'm going to do is take all these documents and continue. I want all 30 of those documents. Am I sure I want to restore those? Yes. And now it's just going to move all of those documents out of archive and put them back to that active matter where I was. So if I look at my cabinet tree again and I go to archive, you see where I am now. I can't find those documents there. But if I go back to my active documents, they will actually be under there under Scooby-Doo. And I know I'm going to have a lot of active clients under here, so I'm not going to scroll through to find Scooby. But he is now, it's all back and it's restored in that place. So Paul's going to take it one step further and tell you after you've moved all those documents, what you're going to do with a matter.
I'm going to also just touch on why would you want to archive other than getting them out of there, more for IT and administrators, is when you archive, we can designate that the archive drive be a cheaper storage medium. And so if you've got a big drive that you're storing your active documents on, and it's RAID 5 compliant and all the, it's expensive stuff, and maybe,
oh, he's talking nerd.
yeah, sorry, nerd
warning,
or it's backed up offline or online in the cloud, and that's expensive. Moving them to an archive area can get them to a less expensive storage area. That's another reason that you want to archive them. You want to get them out of there just to clean things up, but you also want to get them off the expensive storage and onto the less expensive storage. Now, Mary Jo's talking about how to clean things up when it comes to documents. I'm going to talk about how to clean things up when it comes to the lists. So I'm going to find Scooby-Doo again and the 00 matter. And here's all those documents. I'll go ahead and close that viewer also. Now, when you're in a list, if you have the rights, and this is an important distinction, but if we go in, I'm just going to edit the metadata, edit the profile. So in a list, as long as you have the right to do so, you can inactivate a client or a matter or a doc type. Okay. And once they're inactivated, the users then have the option to only look at inactive, to only look at active, or to show all. Now, most people, of course, leave it on only showing active. So by inactivating these doc types, inactivating these clients, inactivating these matters, we are able to do that. Now, Mary Jo, I'm not seeing that in there. Mm-hmm. Ah, thank you. I'm the expert. Mary Jo tells me everything to do. And this is where we would inactivate that client or inactivate that doc type or inactivate that matter. So now Scooby-Doo, client number 10,000, is inactive. And if I show inactive only, there's Scooby-Doo. If I show active only, Scooby-Doo goes away. And of course, if I show all, you're going to see Scooby-Doo. And yeah, let me just type Scooby. And you can see the little minus sign there, and that indicates that they are inactive. Now, of course, you're not usually looking at it that way. You're usually looking at active only. And so this can really clean up a doc type list. It can really clean up clients and matters. Authors and typists, you really don't inactivate them here. You inactivate them in the user list. That's more of an administrative thing. But getting these clients and matters and doc types out of here is huge when it comes to being able to look at something that's clean, to look at something that doesn't have all that garbage in there from 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 2 years ago. One thing to note is that if you inactivate a client in Practice Master, then that matter is inactive in Worldox automatically as part of the integration through Worldox. So, of course, well, I don't have Practice Master open, but there's an inactive switch in the Practice Master screens and the tab screens, and that does push through to Worldox. So there we have it. Two different things, inactivating and archiving, that can help you to clean up Worldox, get the clutter out of there, and help you focus only on the things that are currently active and need to be looked at within the firm. Next month, we're going to talk about help functionality. Mary Jo's going to take that topic. It's been a while since we've talked about help, and it's improved a little bit and changed a little bit. And we want to make sure everybody understands the best ways to get help within the Worldox infrastructure. And I'm going to talk about setting up the 3 or 4 admin passwords that you can for closing Worldox, saving outside of Worldox, the things that you can do to protect your system from letting people do things that they shouldn't, save outside of Worldox or close the system so that you can circumvent it. If you apply the passwords, then only the authorized people can have access to that. And of course, it wouldn't be a live webinar if I didn't take you to our website and explain to you how to get to all this exciting content that we have. If you go to attorneycomputersystems.com, notice the emphasis on that last S in the word systems. Without it, you won't get to the right place. If you either hover over or I'm going to click on the word videos in the navigation pane, when I click on it, I get to a list that shows me each of our 6 titles. 4 of them are live events. You're currently in the Worldox Virtual User Group meeting, and we also have virtual user group meetings for Tabs 3 and Practice Master. And I also have a monthly webinar series that I call the Coffee Pot, where I'll bring in somebody from another company that has a product that adds value to either Tabs 3, Practice Master, or Worldox, and they will demonstrate that product. They'll talk about how it integrates. They'll talk about their company and their pricing and all the things you'd want to know about that functionality that you can add to your infrastructure. We also have 2 pre-recorded titles. We have the eBytes video series and the Paul and Mary Jo show. Mary Jo records 3 eBytes every month, 1 on Tabs, 1 on Practice Master, and 1 on Worldox. And these are little 2 or 3 minute videos where we take something really cool that we can explain very quickly. Something cool but concise. And so we put out 3 of those a month, and we put out 1 Paul and Mary Jo show. That's kind of the same concept. And either I or Mary Jo will take a broader topic or something that has more depth to it and needs more explanation. And we will spend 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes going into all the nuts and bolts of whatever that topic happens to be for that month. So if we'll go to one of these live events, I'll show you what you find when you click through. I clicked more info, and I am now in the Worldox Virtual User Group Meetings page or set of pages where we see the title, we see a brief description of what that is, and we see registration information for the next event, currently still set to this event, where we'll see the description. And this is new. If you've ever done this before, we used to have links, and now we just have the form right here. And so this form, when we fill it out, click register, and you are set to go. As you scroll down a little more, then you will find pre-recorded versions of everything else that we have ever done. We have somewhere between 800 and 900 videos on our site. Every time I say this, I say I'm going to count them, but that's kind of like figuring out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. You usually just give up and don't finish it by doing the licking part. You just bite it. So, and we have never gone all the way and counted all the videos, but let's just say there are a lot of them. If you want to search for something specific, you can just click the search and type something like archiving. And you will, if you just wait, you'll get a list, but if you hit enter, then you'll get a longer format list that shows you all the topics that have the videos that have the topic of archiving or have that word somewhere in them. So you can either come here looking for something, or you can come here looking for information and just kind of browse. These are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So please take advantage of them. They're out there for you. They're free. They're fun. They're exciting. I could think of more adjectives, but I will instead just say, everybody have a good rest of the month, a good holiday, and we will see you next year. Thanks much, everybody. Bye-bye.